Hello, we are in week number 7. We have exactly 16 days left of the challenge. So we've got about 2.5 weeks of a 9-week health and wellness challenge. We are affiliated with JuvaFit Quest. I am Melissa Wittenborn, Mo Motivation, and I am the team captain. And this week we are going to quickly summarize a lot of things that I've just recently learned. I'm always online trying to learn more about my own health and wellness, and I'm just really excited to share everything with everybody. Then when we get done, then we'll go through and we'll talk about what our goals are for the next 2.5 weeks. So I recently learned, and I knew this, I think all of you do know this, that your health starts in your gut. So if you're in poor health, then you want to look towards your gut. I learned from Dr. Gundry this week, watching one of his podcasts or videos, that the your gut has like basically is like a web, like a net of things. And when there's holes in your gut, or starts to cause inflammation. And I know for myself personally, inflammation is something that I am always dealing with. And what he said was that lecithin is causing inflammation in people's bodies, mostly because a lot of the foods that are lecithin heavy are full of glyphosate and all sorts of things that the human body is not meant to process, which is why we talk about whole foods, making healthy choices, and things like that. So I wanted to share something that I did share in our Facebook group and just take a minute to discuss this because I think it's important to know that these are lecithin-free foods. So these are foods that are high in fiber. I think, Michelle, you had mentioned that you're looking for fiber and protein and a better balance to accomplish your goals. And so these are foods that are high in fiber. These are foods that are going to be healthier for you than some other food. For example, he talked about peanuts being really bad for you because it's so chemically processed in this country that maybe better choices would be Brazil nuts, hazelnuts, macadamia nuts. So it's not that nuts are bad for you, it's just that certain foods are full of lecithin and I'm sorry, lectin. And lectin will put holes in your digestive system, which means that now everything's kind of going awry. So what we want to do is we want to heal the gut from the inside out. The other thing that I know that helps with inflammation is our ginger and our turmeric. And people always laugh and say, I can buy ginger and turmeric anywhere. Yes, you can, but it's not the same. Our ginger and turmeric is processed at a very low heat. And if you know anything about vegetables and plants, the lower the heat, the more of the nutritional benefit you will get from it. Our ginger and turmeric is organic, is processed at a very low heat. And the ginger has all the gingerol components from the plant in our little capsules. And the turmeric has all three components of curcumin in it. If you look at some of the things that you can buy at national grocery stores or health and nutritional stores, if you ask them, does it have all three curcumin components in it? The likely answer is no. Most of the better supplements outside of ours will only have two out of the three curcumin components. And so the third curcumin component is important for treating inflammation and keeping the blood flowing properly. We were trained years ago that your digestive tract is like your car running over nails in a parking lot. when you get a nail or you get a hole in your digestive system, what happens is you have to take that nail out and heal. And the way to heal from the inflammation is to take like our ginger and our turmeric, but also to make sure that you're really making some really healing, healthy, lectin-free food choices in your diet. So this is on our group page. I wanted to bring it up here because it covers vegetables, condiments, fruits, nuts, and oils. Not all oils are created the same. So you want to be careful that, especially when you're buying extra virgin olive oil, that is cold pressed and it's not ultra processed. And if you go to pubmed.gov or you go to
And the Bath and
Google,
Bottom term.
I beg your pardon.
Sorry.
If you go to uh, Google or you go to PubMed.gov, you will see that some of these things are overly processed. So really the goal is to clean up the digestive and the gut health. When you have clean gut health, you have a stronger immune system. When you have a stronger immune system, you have less inflammation. When you have less inflammation, the joints stop hurting. It's just really an all-encompassing thing. So I really wanted to spend a few minutes to educate you about these things because I think we could all benefit from knowing this. Any questions?
No.
Okay, the other thing is a couple of announcements. If you haven't checked in for this week, please do so. Your team is counting on you to do that. We all decided to lock arms together and do this journey together. And then also wanted to make the announcement that the move of the week is mountain climbers. I cannot be on the floor doing mountain climbers. I am not able to do that. However, this is a quest to challenge myself. What I can do is go down to a bench or to a countertop and just raise one knee at a time as high as I can go and just very slowly contract the abdominal muscles, squeeze those glutes because that's what we're trying to sculpt by doing this. And then you're also sculpting your arms because you're basically in a plank position to do that. So the mountain climbers can be done on the wall, they can be done on the countertop, they can be done on a bench, and they can be done on the floor. There's no judgment into how you do it. Just try to do it for a full minute. The first time I did it, I could only do it about 40 seconds, and now I've worked up to a minute 3 days later. So keep challenging yourself and just try to do the moves of the week because some of these moves of the week are good for balance, some are good for strength, and most of them are really good for toning the core of your body. And the core of your body, as you age, helps you to stay centered and balanced and strong. And with every decade that you go through, you start to lose that naturally. So make sure that you're really focused on your overall health and wellness. Any questions?
No.
Okay. So when we started this challenge, we all said that we were going to make a commitment to ourselves to do whatever you committed to yourself to do. So we're going to talk about that tonight for a few minutes. And then we're also going to talk about how we're going to finish the next 16, 17 days left in the challenge. Actually, there are 18 days left in the challenge. So we've got a little bit more than 2 weeks left in the challenge. How are you going to do that? So I will start. My commitment was to build strength, to commit to strength training 2 times a week, get better at tracking, and to uh, increase my steps. So, if I'm honest, the steps haven't been fantastic, but the strength training has. And I believe that by building my strength, that will help me burn more fat and increase my metabolism. Because of that, I have lost probably 4 or 5 pounds, which I'm really excited about because I have lots of weight that I'm wanting to release this year. and dealing with my inflammation, my joints, just everything just feels much better when I just take the baggage off. So for the next 2.5 weeks, now that I'm not traveling, because sometimes travel kind of takes you off balance. I did take my bands with me, so I did do some strength training while I was there. I didn't get as much walking in as I wanted to because we were spent a lot of time in hospitals and rehab centers and in restaurants with family. So, and I'm not making up excuses. Sometimes you just only have so many hours in a day to do what you can do. But when I was in hospital rooms, I was marching in place and trying to get some steps in order to get some movement in because I always joke that movement is movement. So my goal for the next 17 to 18 days is to really hone in on my diet, what I am feeding my body. If I walk down the step from my office to the refrigerator, and think that, oh, it's time for a snack, I say out loud, are you hungry or are you just standing here because it's a habit? And when I started doing that, I've walked away from the refrigerator because most of the time when you're hungry, you need hydration. You need to drink some water. And I know those of you that have been with me for multiple times know that I say, if you're hungry, drink water. If you're hungry, drink more water. And if you're still hungry, then maybe you can eat now. So, anyways, so I feel like I'm getting back on track. Not everything is perfect, but I do feel like I'm getting back on track. Michelle, tell me what your commitment was and what your plan is for the next 18 days.
My commitment was to continue strength training and also to improve my tracking, and I'm doing fairly well on that. I've not kept my steps up because I was sick for a few weeks, so we're getting back to where I'm going to hit it a few times this week, but I'm also listening to my body if there's a pain or whatnot. Some days I feel like, oh, I've kicked this whole thing, and other days I'm coughing and hacking and just feel more tired. So it is what it is, but we're on the right trend. We're trajectorying to total wellness. I'm getting our supplements and all the things in. But yeah, my steps are the thing that I really want to commit to the next 2.5 weeks to get back to where my goal was not to do 10,000 steps a day, but 5 times in a week. So I've hit it once this week. I'll probably hit it 2 or 3 times perhaps. But being sick and hitting 5,000 to 7,500, I was proud of that. Just
Right,
around the
right,
house, doing laundry,
right.
whatever. Considering
Well, when you are sick, you
you have
have
to
to listen
rest.
to your body, and rest is part of our challenge. So, getting plenty of rest. I certainly did driving across country. I think I slept all the way out there and all the way back, but, my body must have needed it. So, rest is not a bad thing. And there's no judgment as to what you can or can't do. It is what it is. And
Right,
any movement is better than no movement. So at least you're getting some steps in when you can, and life goes on, right?
right.
Lori, how about you?
My goal has been taking more action, being more consistent, strength training, and definitely steps. Um, I struggled with the steps this go around. I did not meet my goals at all. But what I did do, and I think kind of helped me as far as like inches and strengthening, is like doing the movement of the week multiple times during the day, even if it was a 10 count. I just kept doing them periodically.
That's
And so
perfect.
that gave me more movement. And I think I felt that in my muscles in that targeted area.
I agree.
Um, yes. And my goal for the remaining of this challenge is to kick it up a notch because the weather's getting nicer. So I am able to go outside more. At least the last 3 days I have. It was supposed to snow Sunday. We'll see. But just keep
Boy,
doing the best I can.
with
Right, right. I know when a few weeks ago we had rain for several days and I would just march. I would stand and cook dinner and march. in place because, like I say, movement is movement. I
Hmm.
did put in our group a yoga video that you can buy off Amazon. It's about $15 and then you own it. And there's level one, two, and three uh, as far as yoga goes. And it's very challenging. And while it doesn't have the steps movement, it's very challenging because it does have movement, it has balance, and it builds strength as well. So on days when it was raining, that's what I did. I did that for an hour instead of just 30 minutes of yoga. So I kind of kicked it up a notch. And I also think it's really good when you mix up what you're doing because I get myself in a rut. I get up in the morning, I walk, and then I work, and then I walk a little bit, and then I work. And so this challenge, I've really mixed it up. I've done a sit and fit senior citizens boot camp, which, everybody laughs at me when I say that, but it's very challenging. I went today and I was, it was difficult for me because I'd been off it for a week. And I'm also on Fridays, I'm doing line dancing for 45 minutes. So
Um,
I'm walking for maybe 20 minutes, but then doing line dancing for 45 minutes. So I'm mixing the stuffs up. I can feel that my body's very confused because I can feel every muscle in my body in a good way. But I think sometimes it's good to kind of mix things up, even if you can stand and just kind of, hop a little bit or maybe march or, just movement because being confined in the house is a little bit nerve-wracking, but there's just some fun ways you can challenge yourself. When I walk through the house, I walk through and do this with my arms and do this with my arm because it gets the heart rate up a little bit. And even if it's just 5 or 10 minutes, a lot of the research that I've done online says you don't have to do hours and hours of workout to
mm,
have the benefit. So if you do 5 or 10 minutes here, 5 or 10 minutes there, when I was in the hotel room, I brought some bands and I did some stretching and you take the band, put it on the back of your chair, and then bend at the waist and tuck your stomach and your buttocks together. That's an amazing workout. Even sitting in a chair and popping up and popping down and
mhm.
moving your heels together and then like this with your feet. There's all sorts of ways that you can have movement without, you know, worrying about tracking the steps. For me, I'm less worried about the steps and more worried about mixing my movement up just to trick my body into thinking, oh, this is something different. Because I think when you do trick your body and get out of that rut that sometimes we get in that exercise routine, I think it helps the metabolism. At least that's been the case for me.
I have to share this real quick. I've been on YouTube and looked up indoor workouts, and I've been following this guy that has serious abs. And all you do is sit on the floor with your legs straight out, and you take your hands and you cross your right hand to your left foot and you lift your leg up at the same time. So that's working your big muscles in your leg and your abs at the same time. Holy moly. I
Yes.
mean, just doing it 10 times, I feel it in all of my body. It's like,
The Sit and
but it
Fit
works.
Boot Camp has different components in it. It's aerobics and strength training. And one of the things that they do is you sit and you raise up tall and you move one elbow to the one leg and one elbow to the other leg. And sitting down is it's more difficult than when you're standing up because you
Mm-hmm.
have to, if you don't come out of your back and sit way up, you're going to hurt yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
then we also do like we put like
Yeah.
one leg out and touch and bend at the waist. Now she does it really fast. I would never recommend that for somebody my age to do that because I want to be very body aware, making sure that I'm tucking my abs in and reaching
Mm-hmm.
out and just really getting that stretch. And it's still movement, so you're still getting some sort of aerobic benefit. Jumping jacks, in a chair are the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And I
Mhm.
was talking with some younger people about it earlier last week, and they're like, okay, let's see this. And they're like, oh my God, this is hard. And I'm like, right. So you can
Hmm.
go out one side, out the other side. I've had some shoulder girdle issues, so I can do this, instead of this. But if you do completely over your head, you're going to get a little bit more of a workout. And then the weightlifting I'm doing with just 3 pound weights, just doing tricep curls, bicep curls. You can do all of this sitting down. One of the things that she does
Mhm.
is you have your dumbbells and she goes up, together, out, up, down, together, out. And the whole time you want your elbows tucked into your side. Do that for 10 times. It's
Mhm.
challenging. It's very challenging. And so, when I first saw this, I'm like, really sit and do a boot camp workout? Are they kidding me?
Mhm.
Ah, I could hardly walk the next day. So, and it's a
Mhm.
1 hour workout. But anyways, there's all sorts of things that you can find on YouTube. Probably can find some things on Amazon. The yoga that I posted in our Facebook group on Amazon is phenomenal. I have worked up myself up to level 3, where I am literally standing in a tree pose now, which I couldn't have
Oh,
done a
that's
month ago.
good. That's
So,
good.
so that's exciting because not only does it build abdominal strength, but it's building balance. So,
Mhm.
and my goal for 2026, in or out of a challenge, is to keep pushing forward and building that strength and increasing my balance because I have a big number birthday this year and I do not want to lose that. And the number on the birth chart, says that I have to really work a little bit harder to maintain this. So, anyways, I hope this information was helpful to you guys. I was really excited to share it.
Thank you.
Final
Yes, it
thoughts?
was. I'm going to try something this week. I'm going to take a teaspoon of cold pressed extra virgin olive oil before bed.
I drink a teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil in my coffee every morning.
Oh, a whole teaspoon.
Yep, yep.
Okay.
Because, and I now I'm only doing like half and half, half caffeine, half decaf, but I am thinking that that helps my body get into fat burning mode. And I was telling somebody earlier today about it at the senior center, and she went, "Ooh," and I said, "It's not bad. I mean, I buy very high quality extra virgin olive oil, but it's
I
not
do
bad.
too.
You could use avocado oil. You could use whatever you want. I would not recommend seed oil, but I feel like it's just a good way to coat my stomach lining and to just really kind of kickstart the morning. So I think that's a great idea.
Hmm.
Avocados are very good for you. You just have to make sure that you're buying the organic ones and not the ones that have been sprayed a lot. But because that's healthy fat and fat burns fat, right? We learned that
Hmm.
years ago. Fat burns fat. So how's everybody doing as far as their weight loss, or is anybody having any progress with that? Or
You know,
I'm stuck at 4 pounds,
me
but that's
too.
okay
too.
Me
I
because
was
too.
I can tell that I'm inches around my hips and my stomach.
down.
Me
It's
too.
it's transforming.
Yep.
Mine too. My pants are fitting differently.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's certainly not a size difference, but they're fitting differently. They're fitting more
Hmm.
loosely. And my
Hmm.
thighs too, my scary thighs. How about you, Michelle?
I was down 5, but I had the flu, so that wasn't really fair. So I'm keeping it about 2 pounds off.
Well,
I
that's okay.
like to
That's
get about
progress.
3 or 4 more before the end of the challenge.
That's progress. And hopefully
Hmm.
you guys have all taken pictures so that you can see. a before and after because I don't think for myself, I'm my own worst critic. And when I take those photos, it's like, oh, okay, I can see some inflammation coming down, even if that number on the scale still isn't, excuse me, still isn't where you want it to be. But I've kind of gone back to keto and I'm still eating a little bit of sourdough bread every day because I really, really think that that's really helped heal my gut. I don't have hardly any bowel issues anymore, which is shocking. So it's all trial and error, right? All right,
Yep.
ladies, have a wonderful week. Post whatever you're finding online in the group because it keeps the conversation going and helps us kind of mix things up while we're having rain and snow and whatever. My body is struggling a little bit because we went from 0 degrees on Monday to almost 80 degrees today. So
Mhm.
it's just like crazy. All right. Have a good week. And I'm always here for you guys. And let's finish this challenge out strong.
All right. Thank you. Love you guys. Bye
Love
bye.
you too.
Have
Bye.
a great week. Bye.
You too, Michelle.